Hola chicos y chicas, aquí estamos una vez más en la Ciudad de México para la carrera de la División 2. Sorry for the delay, we had to get the grid ready. I'm still here with Chatty Duck, Nev.
Hola.
And we were just talking about those EU flags in the crowd. I don't think anybody has ever waved an EU flag unless you're a politician. I can't see fans waving those flags, but yeah, good fun.
Just means that you're supporting all the drivers from EU member states.
Exactly, yeah. So none of the British drivers.
None of the Brits.
Yeah. They're excluded. Actually, are there any European drivers who aren't from the European Union on the grid? I can't remember. I think they're all from the EU.
Answers in the chat. Anyone who's
Yeah,
watching?
please, yeah. Right, so finally, we are on the formation lap, everybody. I think you can give a round of applause to all the drivers. They have all gone this time around, so very, very good. Thank you very much, Chatty. So yeah, let's have a look at tyres. Oh.
Someone's binned it on the front straight.
Someone's done a Sergio Perez then.
Yeah.
It's a very good tribute, you know, at home as well. I mean, honestly, kudos. So, as I said, we are having a bit of a look at the tyre strategies. So we've got 85% of the grid going for medium tyres on their first stint. And you've got two of them who are on soft tyres. You've got Aero Voice in P9 and Baby Hornet down in P18, but he's a higher tier driver, so it doesn't really matter. And Colin, our championship leader, trying to go for a different strategy. He's had a disappointing qualifying session. Down in P12 right now, he's been promoted by one position. So yeah, still going for the alternate strategy here. He will be hoping for whether there's a safety car or not. If it happens, he wants it to happen towards the end of the race where he can have a free pit stop. If it happens around lap 11, as it did for Chatty Duck here in Tier 1, he will be crying his heart out. So yeah, it's a risk, but it can definitely pay off very, very handsomely. And also we've got Red Car Rambo down in P20, despite qualifying in P5, I believe, so he'll be very disappointed with that. We've got Panizza getting up to the grid. He's slotting into his position very nicely as it stands. Yeah, he's on the grid. Let's hope nobody gets disqualified on the formation lap because of their positioning. That's a very interesting position here. He's got a bit of an angle. He's pointing his car towards the left.
I think that's Hosman.
Sander Hosman. Yep, it is. So we will be finding out if that strategy works out for him, as we are about to get the 5 lights. So I'll keep quiet for the start. Bit of contact into turn 1, but everybody was so close. It's exactly what we were saying earlier on. Everybody was going to be very close on that start-finish straight. It looks like everybody's gone through safely, apart from one guy at the back at single track, yeah. And Doris is trying to fight Panizza, but chooses to give him the position, as they're both choosing different lines here. As you can see, so many people choosing different lines, going side by side into the hairpin. Going into the S's as well, here you can't really make an overtake, so it's all single line. Everybody's following each other, going into the back straight here. Let's have a look at the position changes as well. Rassam has gone up 2 places. I didn't notice that. That's a really good start for him. It's hard to get these positions in the start. Panizza still leads despite being on pole on this track, which is really hard. But he's going to be very vulnerable here to Doris. Doris is only 2/10 away. So having the tow for over a kilometre will help him out. Hello, Mark Hodgson. Thank you for joining us tonight. What is happening here into turn 1? The camera left us with nothing to watch. Freddie is dropping back a bit from the top 3. There's a 7/10 gap here. So he's at risk of losing contact, but now he's caught back up a bit. Hoseman, he went for an aggressive angle in his race start, but he's lost 2 positions on the start, so it's not worked out for him yet. He's nearly out of DRS range. We'll see when the DRS detection point comes up at the end of in the middle of this sector. Yeah, he's kind of caught back up, so he will be able to stay with these guys for at least one more lap. What's happening further down the order? Have we got any pit stops happening? No, we don't.
No, but Red Car has made a pretty decent start from last place up to 15th.
Indeed.
And now challenging Baby Hornet, who's just gone very wide on the entrance to the stadium section, so feeling the pressure a bit.
Let's have a look at the front, because Doris will now have DRS. He goes through very easily. And what can Rassam do? He's going on the inside. He's zontering Doris. So Panizza stays P2. He goes around the outside and manages to get the lead back. That's incredible driving from him. As Doris ran wide, but still was on the track. So looking good for him. Going on to the inside of Panizza. This was what we were saying earlier on. You can take several different lines through this corner, this chicane, and then the double apex hairpin. And Doris manages to keep the lead. Okay, so we still have the whole grid all within the second. That's incredible. I've not seen this many times, you know. It usually can happen in Tier 1, but even in Tier 1, you usually have 1 or 2 drivers who kind of lose a bit of time to the car ahead, but everybody here is within a second of each other. So it's very, very competitive.
Have as well, because if you lose that DRS, then the group of cars ahead of you is just going to pull away, because they're all benefiting from that slipstream and that DRS, and you are just going to lose time very quickly.
And this is exactly what's happening to Rassam. Instead of being a chatty duck, he's going to be a sitting duck here. He doesn't have DRS, and Bergen is far enough behind, but something happened that I completely missed it. You've got Panizza is down into P15. I missed what happened there for him. So he's out of the running as it stands for the race win. Baby Hornet having a bit of a fight with the Tier 3 reserve Smith. Red Car Rambo just behind him as well, trying to find a way through, because as we said earlier on, he started at the back of the grid. He's trying to find his way back at the top. Colin has found 3 positions as well. I'll get rid of any extra information for now, because we don't really need it for strategies on lap 4. Everybody should have more or less the same wear, whether it's softs or mediums, as Baby Hornet spun out, so that doesn't really matter too much for him. It's not his tier race, but it will be a mistake that will help him learn for his race later on. What can Colin do? He's currently 2/10 away from Armagh. Again, he's in a bit of a slump at the moment. He's not getting the results that his pace would usually allow him to get, so he could be very vulnerable here to Colin. Colin just, again, 2/10 away. Armagh's no, he's
Smith's
7/10 away.
made a mistake in the Ferrari. He's
Smith has a
going to pit with a broken wing, and Baby Hornet's coming in as well, although he's got a 10-second penalty. Speeding.
Earlier on I was saying that Rassam was a bit of a sitting duck because he didn't have DRS. He managed to claw his way back to Doris, so he's only 3/10 away. This is how powerful the DRS is. Once you get that extra 1/10 of a second closer to the car ahead, you get an extra boost over 1, 2, 3 straight lines here, and the toe is very powerful here because of the high downforce nature of this track. So, as Chatty Duck was saying earlier on, this is a very, very important DRS to earn on this track. You don't have it, you lose out. And as we can see, Hoseman has lost it. He's going to be losing extra time to the top 3. They are looking very good at the moment. The Kick Saubers, 1 and 3 at the moment, as Bergen runs over one of the bollards. And we'll be looking at defending for Doris. They'll be putting Rassam under pressure when needed, but Rassam was going through right now. very easy overtake. He completes it like 500 meters before the end of the straight, maybe. It's yeah, very easy overtakes on this track when you're against someone who doesn't have DRS. Race control is given a 3-second penalty for Freddie Olsen, so probably extending or cutting corners. Multiple
and he's also gone off.
warnings. Oh, has he?
Yeah, he's dropped right down.
He's down in P15.
15th place.
Yeah, we've got quite a few good drivers here down the order. Freddie, single track, Aero Voice as well. Down the order, you expect to see them a bit higher than that in this tier, certainly. But yeah, as we were saying,
Aero Voice has just changed off his softs for the hard tyres. There's an Aston that's crashed out of the race, I think. Scottish Ninja. No, he's not out, but he's definitely got wing damage.
Yeah, could we be looking at a virtual here? He's back. Yeah, he's up and running, so it'll be okay. It's just a yellow for the moment, and green flags are back. We were talking about Colin as well earlier on. He's just over a second away from Marmaz, so Marmaz managed to find a bit of his usual pace and pulled away from Colin. And we were mentioning Kozman earlier on. He doesn't have the DRS on the guys ahead, so he loses quite a bit of time. He's lost just over a second since last lap, so it's only going to get worse as the race goes on. It's up to nearly 3 seconds at the moment. Doris has retaken the lead from Rassam. Rassam, it's close to being a home race for him. Mexico, very, very close to the United States of America. What do we have to bring you? You've got, the Aston Martin is in the pits. Scottish Ninja. Again, this is good practice for him for his Tier 3 race on Wednesday. Join us at 7 p.m. for that one on Wednesday. We're going to go for round possibly 7 here. Round 8 of a turn 1 fight here at the front. Got Doris, Rassam and Bergen all fighting for this P1. As Hosman gets another 3-second penalty. I believe that's 6 seconds for him. It's an easy track. We didn't mention it earlier on, but it's very easy to get track penalties on this track. You've got to ride the curbs at the right amount. As Rassam goes through, both Kicksaubers are just behind. Smith gets another penalty. Extending the track, very easy. We'll be getting penalties. And you don't want them, because if there's a late safety car, you're going to be losing multiple positions around this track. Kicksaubers 2 and 3 at the moment. If they could get that in real life, they'd be ecstatic, but they did get a really good result this weekend. They got, I believe, P8 with Joe?
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, P8.
4 points.
So 4 points for Kicksauber. It won't change the result at the end of the year, but it's much better than not having earning any points. So congratulations to them, but they're looking at much more in Tier 2 here tonight. What do we have? We've got now Hosman, who's in a bit of a no man's land, with Laupi just behind, under pressure from Marma Red and Colin as well. So he could very easily lose 2 positions at the end of this straight, as we will move very swiftly to Bergen here, because he's half a second away from Rassam, and this could be the moment where he tries to reach the lead. He's been P3 for a long time in this race, and he might want to try and pull away straight away as he takes the lead on lap 9. What happens? Yep, our Matt has taken the position on Laupi, but Colin stays behind for the moment. So we've got Red Bulls. We've got 3 teams in the top 6 right now. We've got Kicksaubers 1 and 3, Red Bull 2 and 6, and both Alpines 4 and 5 at the moment. So the race is being dominated by these teams. Colin as well, he's been fighting back. Both Colin and Red Car Rambo, they're showing that their pace in qualifying wasn't just a fluke. Well, no, Colin didn't have the pace in qualifying, but their pace is back for the race for sure.
For Colin, the hards is working out so far for him, because he, was the only man who put the hards on.
I forgot about that.
The safety car yet.
And as I said earlier on, Bergen has tried to pull a gap on Rassam on this lap, so he's 9 tenths away, nearly a second. He's beaten the DRS So if I got the right DRS detection point, Rassam will be under pressure from Doris on this lap, and he doesn't have DRS, so it should be an easy overtake for Doris. And Bergen is still losing time to these guys because he's punching a hole in the air for these guys, but he's beaten the DRS on one lap. He could potentially beat it again this lap, trying to secure a lead for him for the next few laps before we get into the pit stop window. What do we have? We've got Colin losing a few positions, so there might have been contact into turn 1. I'm sorry we missed that.
There
but
was
yeah?
actually at turn 3 with red car. They were side by side, and it was a light touch of wheel on wheel, but it's put Colin in a little bit of a half spin, and he's dropped back.
And as you said earlier on, well, Colin was the only driver to have chosen to set some hard tyres to his car. Around lap 10, or I don't know what you think, but could this be the moment where finally he gets more grip out of his tyres than the others?
Well, I mean, it was looking already like he was starting to get more grip, and he's immediately putting Cross-GT under pressure in the Mercedes.
Yeah.
But it's just so difficult to overtake when you're in a train of DRS, because you might have the speed, but without the straight line speed on the straights, although he's actually going to have a chance down into turn 1 on the inside of Cross-GT with the slipstream as well, so he should have enough, although Cross-GT has the advantage actually going into turn 1, so maybe Colin will have to have another go into turn 4, although Cross-GT's got a good exit, so I don't think Colin's going to do it for the time being.
No, he doesn't. I just switched for a moment to the fight between Rassam and Doris because they were side by side going into Essay de Lago turn 4, and it's cost them a bit of time to Bergen as well. He's just about 8 tenths ahead of these guys, so they'll catch up a little bit on the next straight because they will have DRS, but he could pull away in the stadium section, so there's a 9/10 gap. It could still go up to a second, just like it did earlier on. It's currently over the second mark, and yep, it's over the second at the detection point. So again, Rassam is going to be under pressure from Doris, and crucially, it's the second time in about 2 or 3 laps. So I'd be surprised if he had a lot of energy left in his battery. They're still just over a second away from Bergen, so this is Bergen's chance to pull away from these guys who are fighting side by side into turn 1. Rassam trying to switch back, but he's too far behind to try anything really. And yeah, Doris with the DRS trying to catch up on Bergen, but yeah, he's still 8 tenths away. So this is again Bergen's chance to pull away from these guys and secure a winning position. He hasn't won a race this season yet. You told me earlier on, right?
Who was that? Sorry.
Bergen.
Bergen, no, he's got a few podiums, but yeah, hasn't managed to be on the top set.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's been in some pretty exciting battles as well.
It is, yeah.
From some of the clips I've seen from his season so far, so he's been right in the hunt a few times, and maybe this is now the time that he can get over the line.
Exactly, yeah. And as you said, I think he's 5th in the championship, but as you said, the top 5 is only covered by 8 points, I think. So he can still be the championship leader at the end of this race. So it's looking really good for him. A 1.3 second gap over the 2 guys behind. One of them being his teammate as well, which could help him out. I know they were playing the team game last time round. They could play it again tonight. As Red Car Rambo goes from 20th up to P5 in the space of 13 laps. This is an incredible start to the race for him. He's still on the medium tyres. He could go for another strategy. He could go for an undercut at this point because he's got one more place to get. But if he manages to get Laupi soon enough, he could actually extend his first run because he's 5 seconds behind the top 3. So no chance of making an undercut on these guys. he could consolidate his P5 and P4 as it stands. We've got an Aston Martin spinning around at the end of the lap. He's back up and running. And Bergen has lost his advantage over the two guys behind him, so we're back into a 3-horse fight.
It's just so difficult to pull away if your pace is close, because the DRS straights are, well, on the front straight, and always Scottish Ninja's out.
Yeah, in the pits, Well, we do have Bergen in the pits. Yeah. So he's gambling, kind of. This is an early pit stop for him. It doesn't look like he will be in traffic, so he could just put in the laps, several laps in a row. But we've got two cars in behind him. Coming up are Monster and Hoseman. Do they have enough speed to catch up to Bergen? They don't. So Bergen should be safe from these guys. This is looking like a very good pit stop from him, because this will give him extra grip and maybe a second a lap advantage at this point over the medium tyres. So he could extend his gap this way instead of trying just with the guys behind him and having DRS over him. This is, we're getting into the interesting bit here, the strategy part. We're into the pit window. What will the guys up front do? Are any of them going to react? We've got Colin with a 3-second penalty, so he's P7. He's made a few positions up from earlier on, but this penalty will hurt him towards the end of the race. As Rassam is going into the pits, Doris stays out, so he believes he's still got some life in his tyres. We will be keeping an eye on Rassam. He's going to be going to the hard tyres, but will he stay ahead of Bergen? I would be surprised, but Bergen is still under pressure from Hoseman, or has he just overtaken him? No, he's under pressure from Hoseman. So Hoseman could cause some issues here for Bergen at the end of this straight, as Rassam has come up just behind these two guys, so he will still be within DRS range of them. Hoseman has overtaken Bergen, but can Bergen get him? Oh, he does. So I didn't see what happened to Hoseman, but Bergen got him at the end of it. So this is his chance of pulling away from Hoseman and therefore from Rassam.
Well, Hoseman's on the inside into turn 4. And because he had the DRS again.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's put Sam right on Bergen's gearbox as well.
And crucially, we could see Doris go into the pits at the end of this lap. And all that fighting between between Bergen, Hoseman and Rassam could play into the hands of Doris, as he goes into the pit lane, locks up on the entry, which will not give the lead to Red Car Rambo. It's Lauby who stays out and takes the lead from the Kick Sauber. Bergen has the DRS on Hoseman. We will see where he comes out in relation to Doris. Doris is coming out of the pits. He will lose a position to Rassam as well. So we are, as it stands, these three are still staying together, and they're going to be quicker than the guys in front. What tyres is Hoseman on? I'll display the tyres now. Hoseman is on 3 lap-old tyres, so he had a massive undercut. I didn't realise it. I thought he stayed out. So Hoseman has put himself right back into the fight for this race, just by having a 1-lap undercut. That's a very good strategy by him.
I mean, he's made up about 3 seconds, I think, from that.
Yeah, how did he do that?
He was 2 or 3 seconds behind before the pits, so that's incredible. Yeah,
I mean, those guys were fighting, but he wasn't catching up at the time either, so kudos to him. He's got a penalty, so he's got to pull away, as Bergen tried to earlier on and didn't quite finalise that, but he's put himself into that position, so if any of them get penalties, he will be benefiting from it as well. Laupi and Colin are staying out. It's becoming a bit of a long stint here for Laupi. 16 laps on the medium tyres. I think this is the recommended pit stop lap, so he's now extending his first stint. We've got a fight going on towards the back here. Crustier T, Armor Red and Airways. Crustier T being zonted. And Airways managing to get a position on Armad, but Armad doesn't give up. He's staying close to him. Compromises his exit, and we've got a big crash here between Armad and Crustier T. It doesn't look like a safety car's coming out, but these guys will be having some damage for sure.
We've got a virtual.
We've got a virtual, okay. So this is the time to pit for Laupi. For Colin, it's a bit early though. I don't know what you think, but 19 laps on medium tyres is a bit early, so he will be having to wait for a safety car in the coming laps. But this is, it's too risky for him at the moment. But Laupi is definitely going to be going to the pits and benefit from it. So he won't be coming out in the lead, but he could be coming out probably in P6. And whoa, on that, okay. Okay.
Can't say
anyway,
I saw what happened there, but it doesn't sound good.
I saw what happened. It's on stream, so if you want to watch it, you can. But that will be looked at later on. He might have had his wheel disconnect. We've seen that a few times. We saw that last week with Kid Dynamite, tragically running next to the wall on the pit lane straight, and driving into the wall at the end of the straight as well, DNFing, losing what would have been a very good result for him, definitely a podium, and so it could be that.
This is a full safety car, by the way, because even though it says virtual, it's the safety car icon is out on track on the straight after turn 3. So
just waiting for the leaders. And what would you do if you were Colin?
It's because this is not quite as extreme a situation as I was in Kota last week. The safety car was a bit earlier there. I mean, the mediums will get to the end, but they will be pretty horrible by the end. I think really he's got no choice, because the pack's going to be all bunched up behind him on much quicker tyres if he doesn't pit. So I think ultimately he really had no choice but to come in and put the mediums on.
As you say, it's a bit early, but he can get to the end. The issue here for our viewers is that if no safety car happens, well, he'll have to have a full pit stop and be at the very back of the grid, and he probably will have no chance of scoring any points in this race because of having what would it be? It would be about 20 lap hold hard tyres. He'd be eaten alive by the guys behind him, and would have no chance of scoring points even from P10. So at least from here, he's got a chance of fighting. He's in P4 right now. Okay, he's got a penalty, but he's going to be rapid on this restart. The guys ahead of him have got a bit of tyre wear as well. So this could be a chance for him to overtake these guys, get a gap on them, and see what happens with the rest of the race. If another safety car happens, he will be able to pit because other drivers will be pitting as well, I believe. So he could still end up with an advantage at the end of the race, depending on when a hypothetical safety car would happen. But we don't really want to see that Aston Martin come out again. We've already got 2 on the grid. 3 is too much. So actually, no, one of them has retired. But you get what I mean. we don't need another one. They've got enough advertising. So we should be getting maybe another lap of safety car. We've got single track and Smith at the back of the grid, but they've got basically sector 2 to catch up. I believe that 1.5 lap should be enough to catch up to this back. In the meantime, a bit of PlayStation chat tonight. We've got a nice kind of retro intro, PlayStation 1 style, which we enjoy. I think Chatty Duck enjoyed that one. It was a nice surprise to see. Hopefully we'll be getting a bit more content than just an intro, but it's nice nostalgia. Let's put it that way.
Very nice nostalgia.
Bringing us back to childhood and all of that good stuff. Maybe not childhood. Some. Maybe they were already 30.
I mean, there's probably some drivers here who weren't even alive when PlayStation 1 was.
I wasn't.
Was the best that we had. So you know.
I was. Yeah, I thought you were saying it was released before, but yeah.
Well, it's just you know, I feel sorry for people who weren't around for it, because it was you know, the little niche things that you don't get these days, like putting your disc in and praying that it starts up, especially if you've had the game for a few years and it's getting a bit scratched up.
Yeah.
Taking it out and blowing on it and giving it a rub on your chest or something to try and make it work. All the old tricks that we used to have to play to make our games work, and you just don't get that these days. Games work well, and it's a damn shame.
Well, look, it's a pretty good thing what F124 is doing right now. You know, that they're putting glitches into the game to have that kind of nostalgia as well. So it's not all lost.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yugoni's saying,
yep,
he's played every PlayStation despite being born as late as 2004. So yeah, fair play.
Right, safety car coming in this lap. Bernd Maylander has listened to my prayer and letting us drive. So Hosman will be leading us. Let's have a look on board from Bergen's point of view at when Hosman will be going for the restart. It's going to be a late restart, as he's gone right now, but he hasn't really surprised Bergen. So Bergen is going to stay with him. He's going to get not DRS, but a pretty healthy tow. And I think he's going to be going for it at the end of the straight. No, he's pulling away from it, but he's not under pressure from behind as well. So it's as it stands at the front, but we've got a Mercedes going for a move on Laupi. That's a very good move, considering that he's got worn tyres as well, Penitza. So that was a very good move on Laupi. Fresh tyres for Laupi. So we're back into a situation with most of the grid all within a second of each other. We've got Doris Dunn in P11. I didn't notice that. Did he spin during the lap?
Let's have a look.
Oh, he pit. I didn't notice that he pit for mediums. That's a very interesting one.
So he's gone medium hards and now back to mediums.
Yeah.
To get to the end of the race.
Okay, that's okay. It's not something I would have done, but fair enough. If it works out, fair enough. We will be keeping an eye on him later on, but Bergen now is 0.7 of a second behind Hosman, with Rassam another 7/10 further behind, 6/10 now. So Rassam really going for it. Or he's got lower wings. We've not spoken about wings really tonight, but you can play a bit with the wings on this track, depending on if you want to be quick in sector 2 or quick in a straight line. All have pros and cons. Red car Rambo still going. He's P6 right now. No penalties for him. Let's have a quick look at penalties as well, because this will be a factor sometime soon in the next 15 laps. Hosman has got a 6-second penalty, so as it stands, that would put him probably around P8, maybe, P6 maybe. Maybe Hornet, doesn't really matter for him. He's a high-tier driver with Kiza Soze. Panisa with 3 and Colin with 3 as well. Let's have a look at what will happen at the end of this lap. We're on board here with Bergen. He's managed to stay within 0.8 of a second of Hosman, which means that from here into the next 2 straights, he will have DRS on Hosman, who had a bit of a moment on the exit of the farm corner. So expect Bergen to close right down till the end of this straight, and maybe put him under pressure for the second straight here. I think it's a bit too late for him to go for a move yet. He doesn't quite go for the move now, but he's in a very good position to go for the move at the end of the straight. Yeah, I think he's just comfortable right now being in P2. I don't know what you think, but he's looking very confident. He's okay with being behind Hosman. He's effectively the race leader. after penalties are applied. So as long as he's got DRS on over Rassam as well, I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's a good strategy to go to choose. As Red Car Rambo has made a move back on Laupi, or yeah, he has. So he's in P5 right now, 1.3 seconds away from Colin ahead. So this is the moment for him. Middle sector, trying to find a bit of time, trying to get close to the top 4, because this could be an easy podium for him as well. 3-second penalty for Colin, 6-second penalty for Hosman. That would promote him up into P3 if he stays in that train. But he runs a bit wide on the entry of the stadium section, excuse me. So he doesn't quite get DRS. Laupi does behind him, but it's a faster slap for Red Car Rambo. Helped, of course, by the DRS on the first straight. But still, this shows that he's got plenty of pace to offer. Freddie Olsen on medium tyres has set another faster slap down in P12, but with a 6-second penalty as well, so it's going to be very hard for him to get a good result tonight. Baby Hornet. Just, yeah, he's got to serve pit stops, being a higher tier driver, and he goes full speed. So I don't know if he's trying to find the optimal braking point for the pit lane, but he's not found it just yet.
It definitely hasn't found it.
Red Car Rambo, 1.7 seconds behind now, so not having the DRS is finally starting to hurt him. Let's have a look at tyres as well. We've had to look at penalties, so let's just change things around. Colin's still going on those 5-lap-old medium tyres, but he's not overtaken the guys ahead.
So something's happened to Hosman.
Oh,
I think Hosman might have...
Yeah, must have had a moment there.
He had a moment, yeah.
Yeah. So he's going to be under pressure from Colin if he doesn't have DRS. Hosman does have DRS, which means Bergen is under pressure from Rassam. Rassam goes to the inside. As Doris sets a faster slap, easy overtake for Rassam over Bergen, but Bergen has got to be able to position himself nicely to protect himself from Colin and Hosman. Of course, they've got penalties, it doesn't matter. But he doesn't want cars in between him and Rassam. He wants to overtake Rassam. He's the guy that he has to beat tonight. As Red Car Rambo goes 2.1 seconds behind this group of 4 leaders. I'm not quite sure how this race is going to pan out. A few more penalties will happen. It will just be a question of where they appear. So yeah, Doris P9 at the moment, still on fresh medium tyres. This is when he's got to push and find positions on these guys ahead of him, but the problem is that it's a bit of a train. It's a 4-car train he's going to be joining, which will become a 5-car train. I don't know about you, but unless he's got very low wings, it's going to be a very hard task to get through this group.
Yeah, well, we've seen a few of the quick drivers falling towards the back of the pack at various points in this race, and they've not really made up much progress to get back to the front, and that's a big part of it, is that you just get stuck in these trains of DRS. Although having said that, Red Car Rambo is getting swamped down into turn 1 by Panizza, Laupi and Airways. He also got a bump from Doris from behind for his troubles. So that's not gone well for Red Car, but that was a successful bit of DRS action there for, well, Doris as well. Now into turn 4. Red Car defends it and actually forces Doris wide a little bit. They're still side by side coming out of turn 5.
Lost a bit of traction there. Ryan won't be aware that it was just a bit of a spin, so you won't take it too kindly. But Red Car Rambo is just on the edges of being in the DRS range of Airways, so potentially being a bit under pressure from Doris will cost him, but he's clawing his way back to the guys ahead, so he will be getting a nice tow along the main straight. What's happening up front? We've got I didn't notice it earlier on, but Bergen has got into the lead. He's got a few cars in between him and Rassam. This is perfect for him right now. We've got a yellow flag in the final sector. Red Car Rambo. They must have had contact with maybe Doris. He's got an end plate missing, so So he's going to be going into the pits for probably a set of medium tyres. And Airways has got a 3-second penalty. Where is Airways? He's P8, so that could cost him points tonight. He's got a 3-second gap on Cross-Tier T. Doris gets a 3-second penalty as well, so on top of being on perhaps the wrong set of tyres for the end of this race, he's going to be held back by this penalty. What is happening up front? We've got Colin who's taken the lead from Bergen. Bergen gets the penalty. So now it's Rassam who's in pole position here. He doesn't even need to make overtakes. As long as he stays in this DRS group, he will be within 3 seconds of each of these drivers. He will get an easy win if it stays this way. This is becoming very 2012-like. We had 7 winners in 7 opening races. We could be getting 8 winners in 8 races, honestly. Tier 2, thanks for the show you're giving us.
And Laupi is still in a pretty good position as well, penalty free in P5.
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
So he could get himself onto the podium at the very least, as Colin and Hoseman are swapping positions.
That's a very good point you made. Laupi's having a very, very, very quiet race right now, P6. But as you said, 5 of the guys ahead of him have got penalties, so depending on how it pans out, he could still be P2 or something at this point. Doris goes through, but his tyres are going to fade away from this point on, and we've got, 8.5 laps left. Plenty of degradation to find on these tyres, so the hard tyres will be finding their way over the medium tyres. It's going to be a tough one for Bergen here.
Yeah, he must be kicking himself after getting that 3rd warning on the previous lap. It's really made his prospects of winning this race much more difficult.
Yeah,
we'll see.
And you can,
it's pressure now on Sam as well, because he knows he's got to just keep it clean.
Exactly.
To take the win here, but it's a lot easier in theory than it is in practice.
Yeah, Bergen tried his best on that previous lap to create a gap on Colin, try and break away from that DRS gap, but it's gone back down to 4 tenths. He's lost 5 tenths on a single straight line. It's so hard to pull away, and he's going to try again this lap, but the longer he tries, the harder it gets, because you lose so much ERS trying to pull away from these guys. And believe me, they're quick. So you've got to push like a madman to get away from these guys. And you've got to push to stay with them, which is exactly what Rassam is trying to do and doing right now as well, very nicely. Laupi is still staying with these guys. I'll be showing the penalties right now for you guys. So we've got Hoseman on 9, Panita on 6, Doris with 3. So as it stays, it should be P4 for Laupi at the moment. So he's going to be hoping that the guys ahead of him find a bit of pace and try and close that gap to the guys ahead. Bit gets a 3-second penalty, which is unusual for him. He usually benefits from other people receiving penalties. P14 not going to plan for him tonight. We've got a move from Rassam over Bergen, so beating him on track instead of just by penalties. Colin is the next one, but Colin here is our leader on medium tyres. Good race for him starting from P12, but till the end of the race he's going to be a bit slow, and that's possibly what caught Rassam out. Rassam expecting more pace from Colin, and the tyre wear is starting to kick in for Colin. Rassam will have to learn from that, as Red Car Rambo with very, very fresh and nice medium tyres sets a fastest lap. And Laupi's got a 3-second penalty, so yeah. But Airways has crashed, which means we've got a safety car. And I think Rassam is okay with that. It's taken a few laps of racing out of the race, which means that...
What are these guys going to do, though? Are they going to pit?
I think they are. I think they are, because how many laps have they got on their tyres? I'm going to have a look. Not all of them are
Colin and
pitting.
Rassam keep going. Bergen has, yeah, Hoseman's in,
It's...
Doris is in, Laupi's in. So it is a mixed bag in terms of the front guys.
Yep, it is. Laupi's going for soft tyres, Hoseman's for soft tyres, Doris for soft tyres. What is Monster choosing? He's in P10, he's still looking good. I don't think he's got a penalty. He's gone for the soft tyres, so unfortunately for the guys ahead, everybody behind us pit. So they are going to be under pressure from everybody from P7 down to P16. Well, maybe not P16 because Baby Hornet is a higher tier reserve. Same goes for Kisa Sosa in P10. So they will probably just stay away from the fight and let the tier drivers settle things among themselves. But yeah, Freddy cross tier T and Colin on 12 and 13 lap hold tyres. 16, 17, 19 lap hold hard tyres for Rassam, Bergen and Panizza. There is absolutely no way they are going to be pulling away from the likes of Hoseman, Doris and Laupi. So it's going to be a very interesting dynamic here in Mexico City.
This is not over by any means.
Yeah, exactly. On top of the fact that there are penalties to be applied, which doesn't help us much. I think Krusty T is probably the driver in a weaker position here with Freddie Olsen being on used mediums. They will probably be lacking a bit of grip on the restart, so cold tyres on the restart this late in the race, the nerves are getting to you. You want to get going, but if you spin out, you lose everything on top of getting some potential damage. So it's a big test for these drivers to get the tyres ready for the restart, be in the right frame of mind to be on the restart, to get the good traction on your tyres. I'll just very quickly go to the YouTube chat because I've not been paying attention to you guys. I'm sorry about it. I've been so into this race that I kind of didn't take any time looking at your safety car chat. So yeah, you talked about Damiano earlier on, being a 2004 guy and having plenty of memories on PS1 and PS2. Sam is asking if it's more pens than expected. I think so. I wasn't expecting most of the grid to be getting these penalties. How much do we have? We've got several guys with over 6-second penalties. We've got 6 for Panizza, 9 for Freddy and Hoseman, 6 for Monster. On top of the guys who've got 3-second penalties, it's a very penalty heavy race. This I wasn't expecting it to be that much.
Got the safety car coming in. Don't know where Ant's gone. Don't know if you can hear him and I can't, but we will roll with it whilst we can. And Colin is still waiting to drop the hammer, and he does now on lap 33 out of 36. So there are 4 to go in this race. There will not be DRS available until the next lap, which is lap 34. And a bit of craziness going on in the background as to be expected following a safety car period, excuse me. Bergen fighting off the challenge of Panizza. Krusty T there as well, and these guys of course have got all of the soft tyre runners behind, chomping at the bit to try and make their way up the order now. A lot of them with penalties though, so it is going to be tricky for them. To do anything in terms of actually improving their position. Sam is the highest placed driver without penalties, but Colin with slightly fresher, well, I say slightly fresher. The mediums will be wearing quicker than the hards at this point, so actually Sam does have a tyre advantage. And he should be in position to take the victory. Bergen is falling away from the back of Sam in third place. Hoseman and Doris have managed to get past Friddy now into P6 and 7. Friddy fighting back against Doris though. Doris with the inside line into turn 5, and he's going to take 7th place. So Hoseman and Doris now on 3-lap-old softs have got a chance here with 3 laps to go to maybe get themselves up to, well, it's hard to say with the penalty situation exactly where they could get to, but they've got a chance anyway. Hoseman with another 3-second penalty though. I think he's got at least 9 seconds of penalties. He's got 12 seconds, so he is going to fall back when it's all said and done in this race, but he's really on the attack at the moment. He's going to be taking Crustier T next, and Sam meanwhile at the front has gone past Colin to take the lead of this race with 2 laps to go, including this one. Hoseman goes past Crustier T for P4. Has he got enough of a speed advantage to make that work? Yeah, he's got through into 4th place. Although again with his penalties, he's probably not going to be able to hold on to it. Redcar and Friddy were side by side for a moment there, and then Friddy's hit the back of Panizza, who's gone spinning. I know that on stream you guys are not seeing all of the things that I'm saying because it's Ant's live stream that we're watching. I don't know where Ant has gone, I'm afraid, but either way his stream is working at least, so we can see what's happening. But we've got Sam leading the way and about to start the final lap of the Mexican Grand Prix here in Tier 2, and about to become another different winner in the Tier 2 Championship this season. I don't believe he's won a race yet. Bergen going past Colin for 2nd place, so it should be another strong finish for Bergen, and I think this will actually put him in the lead of the Drivers' Championship after this race, but we'll have to wait and see on that one once the points are tallied up, and obviously any stewarding inquiries from this race are dealt with as well. And further down things have rather settled a bit. The drivers on softs, apart from Hoseman and Doris, have not really made that much of an impression. We've got Laupi behind Crustier T still on the final lap. He's running out of opportunities to make a move there, but let's focus our attention on this group at the front as they come through the stadium section with the fireworks, and Sam in the Red Bull without any penalties is going to take victory. He might lose it over the line to Bergen, but it doesn't matter. Sam wins the Mexican Grand Prix from Bergen and Colin. And as the drivers come across the line further down the grid, there's a bit of a shake-up with the penalties, but ultimately it's Sam with the win, and Bergen 2nd, Colin in 3rd, Doris in 4th, Crustier T in 5th place, Redcar up to 6th in the end, which is a very good race from him after being at the back after quali, and then having an incident quite late in the race as well, which took him to the back towards the end. Probably helped out by the late safety car as well, but still a good result. And we'll have an opportunity to run through the rest of the results in a minute. As we see red car take driver of the day. And unfortunately now I can't see the podium celebration, but it looks like it came up on Bergen's screen, which is good. Not Bergen's screen, sorry, Ant's screen. Oh, mine's just come up, it's just very delayed. But yeah, Ant has gone through the order. For us there. So yeah, we've got Sam with the win, Bergen in second, Colin in third, Doris in fourth, Cross-GT in fifth place, Red Car Rambo in sixth, Single Track seventh, Laupi in eighth, Iravoice in ninth, Bit in 10th, Hoseman down in 11th with his penalties, Monster 12th, Soze 13th, Baby Hornet 14th, the Tier 1 boys, Panitza 15th, Friddy 16th, Airways 17th, and DNF'd in fact, and then Smith, Armour Red, and Scotch Ninja also DNF'd. So I don't know what's going on with you, Ant, but you were able to scroll through the results pretty well. But anyway, probably best that we leave it there for now. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. And you can check out how me and Ant are doing in Tier 1 in a few minutes' time. That will be starting a bit later due to the late running of this race. But until then, have a great evening, guys, and see you soon.